If you're an athletic trainer, athletic director, coach, or someone who's involved with student athletics in Georgia, this video is for you. The Georgia High School Association, or GHSA, recently revamped its heat safety protocol with a new heat stress mandate. The latest mandate includes guidelines for monitoring the wet bulb globe temperature, or WBGT, and updated outdoor activities and practice rules. In this video, we'll explain everything you need to know about the new GHSA heat stressed activity guidelines and the impact of WBGT monitoring on school heat safety. For one, all schools in Georgia must use wet bulb globe temperature as the standard for measuring heat stress. If you don't know what WBGT is, don't fret, I'll go over it in this video. Furthermore, pre-game WBGT checks are now mandatory for all outdoor competitions such as football, soccer, lacrosse, baseball, and cross country. Readings should be taken 30 minutes prior to the event and should be monitored closely throughout the event. The specific adjustments for each WBGT threshold are as follows. With a WBGT under 82 degrees, there are no alterations to be made with the outdoor activities. With a WBGT between 82 and 86.9, you should begin using discretion for intense or prolonged exercise and watch at-risk players carefully. And you should provide at least 3 separate rest breaks each hour with a minimum of 4 minutes duration for each one. For a WBGT between 87 and 89.9, the maximum practice time is 2 hours. And for football, players are restricted to helmet, shoulder pads, and shorts during practice, and all protective equipment must be removed for conditioning activities. For all other activities or any other sport, please provide at least 4 separate rest breaks provided during the hour of practice. For a WBGT between 90 and 92, the maximum length of practice can be no longer than 1 hour, and no protective equipment may be worn during practice, and there may be no conditioning activities. And there must be 20 minutes of rest breaks provided during the hour of practice. For a WBGT over 92, all practice should be canceled until a cooler WBGT reading occurs. Now, keep in mind, the entire state of Georgia is a Category 3 zone, meaning that these guidelines and adjustment recommendations are specifically made with that in mind. Now, again, if wet bulb globe temperature, zones, categories, and measuring WBGT are entirely foreign subjects to you, and you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. The next section of this video provides an overview of wet bulb globe temperature and why it's better than heat index, how to measure WBGT, how zones and categories work, and pretty much everything you need to know to understand wet bulb globe temperature policies as they emerge. So, let's get right into it. So, what is wet bulb globe temperature? Well, it's pretty simple. It's a more accurate representation of how extreme heat can affect the human body. The heat index only tells you the temperature feels to the human body in a shady area, which doesn't give you the complete picture. Wet bulb globe temperature aims to improve the accuracy of the heat index by factoring in not just temperature and humidity, but also factors such as wind speed, sun angle, and cloud cover. This holistic assessment more accurately represents the effect of extreme heat on the human body and, in turn, allows athletic trainers and departments to schedule practices and competitions effectively to minimize the risk of injury. Military agencies, OSHA, and marathon organizers have used wet bulb globe temperature for years. It is helpful for outdoor workers, athletes, and anyone performing strenuous outdoor activities. Georgia has already beaten most of the United States in adopting WBGT as the new heat stress measurement standard. According to an article published by the Journal of Athletic Training, before Georgia implemented the WBGT and heat stress policies, they led the country in heat-related deaths of interscholastic football players, including the death of one in 2006, which received extensive media coverage. After switching to WBGT, heat syncope and heat exhaustion illness rates decreased by 35% to 100%, depending on the wet bulb globe temperature category, over 3 years after the Georgia High School Association revised its policy to mandate a 5-day acclimatization period with no practices exceeding 2 hours and the use of wet bulb globe temperature-based activity modification. So to be clear, this isn't just some new concept a bunch of weather guys came up with last year. It's a proven metric that has already been used to prevent heat-related injuries and, in some cases, death. The United States is massive geographically. It is so big that many regions within the US have their own specific varying degrees of heat intensity. Because of the varying degrees of heat intensity, people in different areas experience heat stress at various thresholds. We call this heat acclimatization, which is the individual's ability to adapt to hot environments over time. Athletes in zones with, on average, higher temperatures acclimatize faster than those in cooler zones. If you want a full breakdown of the categories, you can head to the PeriWeather website linked below. There, we discuss each category in greater detail. You only need to know that each category has different heat thresholds that determine when and how to modify and adjust practice schedules, events, and competitions. Now, most schools use whatever is most convenient to access for weather monitoring. That usually includes solutions like WeatherBug or the default weather app on smartphones. Now, these are great if you're just a regular Joe looking for a decent weather estimation throughout the day. However, for coaches and athletic trainers, precision and accuracy matter a lot more when the difference between an athlete having a heat stroke or not is a matter of degrees. These weather apps can't give you the real-time or in-the-now weather data for your area that enables coaches and ATs to make quick decisions. Again, if the coach or AT makes the wrong call, the possibility of an accident increases significantly. Additionally, weather apps offer limited customization features. Coaches and ATs who use these apps can't receive notifications regarding monitoring wet bulb globe temperature when high heat arrives at their location. Oh, and talk about a headache and a half trying to get this information to multiple athletic departments and teams. If you have various sports teams on a large campus practicing at different ends of the campus, getting the information to those athletic leads promptly can be a nightmare. Multiple apps, other messaging platforms, calls, emails, and hoping that people will look at their phones at the right time all detract from the core message getting out on time. The other option for measuring heat stress is with a dedicated handheld device, the most common being the Kestrel 5400. This is a step up from your basic free weather app. It's designed to be portable and durable for outdoor use, and thanks to a black bulb unit built into the monitor, it will give you a better idea of the WBGT in your area. However, it's not all peachy with these handheld monitors. Handheld monitors tend to provide readings that are higher than the actual WBGT. With a WBGT of 86 degrees Fahrenheit, about 75% of Kestrel 5400 readings are higher than the actual globe temperature. This happens because, for one, the device heats up in the sun, resulting in elevated readings, and Kestrel admits this and states that it can't be corrected. The other is that many handheld temperature and humidity sensors are not adequately shielded from solar radiation. This causes the temperature sensor to read higher than the true ambient air temperature when exposed to direct sunlight, resulting in high WBGT readings. Additionally, the handheld device's black bulb sensor is only 1.5 inches in diameter, unlike a PeriWeather station, which has a black bulb diameter of 3.5 inches. This is a big deal because a larger bulb has a more gradual response to temperature changes, minimizing the frequent and often inaccurate spikes in globe temperature readings. Again, if the wrong data is reported, it could lead to a loss of practice and game time and an increased risk of heat-related illnesses. Additionally, handheld devices have limited or no data logging capabilities, forcing users to record measurements manually, which is time-consuming and error-prone. Ultimately, it's just another thing ATs and coaches have to pay attention to, which distracts them from the real responsibilities, ensuring their student-athletes' safety and development. So, what's the solution? In comes PeriWeather, your all-in-one platform for WBGT and weather monitoring. PeriWeather 100% takes care of everything related to wet bulb globe temperature and more. PeriWeather's 3.5-inch black bulb sensor attaches directly to the on-site weather station, allowing you to get a reading every 15 minutes without the hassle of ensuring you comply with mandated policies. This exact site-specific measurement can be the difference in preventing heat-related illnesses. PeriWeather also offers automatic, instructive alerts and warnings based on your heat stress policies. This keeps school athletics compliant and confident in decision-making, so everyone knows what to do when WBGT levels are high. Our website offers more information about PeriWeather, including how to create custom policies, add additional users, detect lightning, view historical data, and more. I'll keep this short and sweet. Wet bulb globe temperature is the future of measuring heat stress, and Georgia's wet bulb globe temperature law proves that school entities are serious about it being the new standard. Implementing the new system might involve some growing pains, but you decide how smooth you want the transition to be. If you want the basics and hassle and frustrations associated with a basic solution, go with a handheld device. But if you want the most comprehensive, seamless, cost-effective solution for monitoring WBGT, go with Periweather. If you learned something from this video, drop a like and subscribe for more helpful information about weather safety. We can't wait to hear from you and help monitor your weather needs. See you guys later.